Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I speak the password primeval. I give the sign of democracy. I will plant companionship thick as trees along all the rivers of America. Oh, to bring all to common ground. Nothing will do as well as common ground. Walt Whitman. I'm sentimental, if you know what I mean. I love the country, but I can't stand the scene. And I'm neither left nor right. I'm just staying home tonight, getting lost in that hopeless little screen. But I'm stubborn as those garbage get bags that time cannot decay. I'm junk, but I'm still holding up my little wild bouquet. Democracy is coming to the USA. Leonard Cohen. Aren't you glad I didn't sing that? Congratulations, graduates. Thank you, parents, professors, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, friends, pets, any creature or being that helped you get here. You are deserving of gratitude. And what does being here mean? What is the significance of holding this diploma, of being present in this arena? It means that you know that the world is far more complicated than the day you entered. It means that you have spent the last several years growing your knowledge base and cultivating your skill set, and you are therefore far more capable than you once thought. It means that at a time when our diverse democracy seems hopelessly divided, you can be counted on to build the bridges of cooperation. So listen, there are many ways to lead in a diverse democracy. I hope you engage in all of them. Vote, canvass, make speeches, start an organization, join a club, run for office, protest peacefully, but not right now. And also, host potlucks. Wait, what? Host potlucks to save diverse democracy? Yes, absolutely. Let me explain. A potluck is the ultimate democratic form. No mayor, governor, or general can command people to potluck. President Taylor, you are a great guy. You cannot command people to potluck. It is an event of the people, by the people, for the people. It is street-level self-governance. And like everything else about self-governance, potlucks don't rise from the ground or fall from the sky. Someone steps up to host them. Everything always starts with a leader. Today, I am asking you to be that person. By hosting a potluck, you are expressing faith in the essential idea of a democracy. And that is, you believe in people. Potlucks don't exist without people bringing a dish. Democracies don't survive without people making a contribution. Listen, there are some folks out there who think that it is a matter of intellectual sophistication to emphasize all the things that are standing in your way, to highlight all the things you can't do. If you host a potluck, you're sending the opposite signal. You are giving the sign of democracy. You are whispering the password primeval. I believe in what people can do. I believe in the contribution they can make. I want to taste the dish that they bring. Now, your belief in people needs to be tempered by a cold, hard look at reality. Yes, everyone has the potential to make a contribution, but not everyone faces the same circumstances. Some people are lucky enough to have been born with stocked kitchens and safe transportation. Other people face barriers: racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, Islamophobia. These are barriers. They make it harder for people to make their contribution, but they don't define people. So how can you dedicate your life? How can you make sure your potluck is a place that also helps to erode the barriers while ensuring that you don't let the barriers define how you see other people? As the host, you have power. Don't be afraid of power. You have the power of the invitation. How will you use that power? My suggestion: invite a diverse group of people to your potluck. After all, whatever your favorite dish is, you don't want a dozen versions of it at your table. You want biryani and hummus, salad and shish kebabs, burritos and funeral potatoes. And you want the people who come to feel inspired and empowered to bring their best dish. A potluck is an opportunity for a diverse group of people to feel proud of their various distinctive identities. Hosting a potluck requires skill. You need to create a space where people can engage in enriching conversations and dishes can mix in creative combinations. The magic at a potluck happens when one person's crusty bread recipe from Eastern Europe meets another person's spicy dip from the Middle East, and everybody goes, wow, never thought that could happen. And then those people from different ethnicities and religions who have divergent views on tax policy and environmental regulation and other controversial issues dividing our nation for good reason. They're in your kitchen. And you know what they're doing? Sharing the stories of the sacred family rituals behind their best dish. A diverse democracy requires spaces where people who disagree on some fundamental things can come together on other fundamental things. Your kitchen should be one of those spaces. The host of a potluck has a subtle pedagogical role. You are teaching this disparate gathering of strangers how to be a community, which is to say, how to take responsibility for the common good. You signal that you need people to come early to set up, to stay late to clean up, to bring extra plates and silverware, to make sure that food is properly labeled. People will follow your signal. I hosted my first potluck a few months after I graduated from college. I wish I could tell you that all of the aforementioned lofty ideals were in my mind as I invited a handful of friends to join me on a cold February Tuesday night in Chicago. If you think February is cold in Salt Lake City, brother, you have not been to Chicago. But the truth is, it wasn't lofty ideals in my mind. I was just very lonely and too poor to put on a dinner party. Also, I only cook one dish, masala potatoes. I mean, how many nights can you eat masala potatoes alone? And so I called 6 people. We had an amazing time. As they left, they told me that they were coming back the following Tuesday and bringing friends. It was a good reminder. A potluck is not a dinner party. It's more rock and roll jam session or jazz improvisation than classical orchestra performance. Expect your guests to bring random friends, acquaintances, people they walk by in the train station. And it shows that a leader might start something, but if that leader is doing her job well, the community that gathers guides the endeavor into its next chapter. I worried a lot those first few potlucks. The vegans. Not kidding. I had a lot of vegan friends back then, very into being vegan. Still have a lot of vegan friends. I was worried that they were going to be mad. surely someone would bring meat and the vegans would take offense. Never happened. Because honestly, most of the time, people are good and gracious. People knew there were a lot of vegans coming to the potluck, and so most made vegan-friendly dishes. Lentil loaf, ever tried it? I'd say give it a shot. People who brought meat and dairy labeled their food clearly. Everyone seemed to operate on good faith and recognize that diversity is honestly not always the dishes you like. I hope you have read and thought a lot about democracy in college. Hosting a potluck is making democracy happen in your home. It is one way to put those ideals into action. A potluck demonstrates that diversity is a treasure, that cooperation is better than division, that identity is a source of pride, that everyone is a contributor. So hold up your little wild bouquet, plant the trees of companionship, carve out the common ground, host the potluck. Democracy is coming to the USA, and you are going to bring it. Thank you.
Eboo, thank you very much for sharing your guidance and wisdom. I'm now starving, to be quite honest. I've also got just a ton of ideas. General ed class, Potluck 101. Tenure hurdle, right? Research, teaching, service, and potluck holding. I think we probably ought to implement. Why not a potluck team, for crying out loud? Where's Mark Harlan? I'm sure there's some Title IX implications, but we can figure that all out. You know, I know we'll all be a better society if we take some time to build bridges. Clearly, in this moment of our university, we see it. Universities are microcosms of the world around us. They're special places. They really are. They're places where each of us are able to bring our passions and try to figure out if we can work some logic through our anger. It's a place where we can sit down and try and dialogue. But it certainly requires every one of us to participate in creating a platform so that we can actually have those dialogues. And I got to tell you, I never thought it would be a potluck, but I'm going to host one this weekend.